Hi everyone, it's Peg. It is Tuesday morning, and I am working on. Sorry, got started without you. I'm working on page prep for today's November journal daily art, and what I'm doing is I'm using some washi tape. Um, this is a page that had some background on it to start with, and I'm just adding to it with the tape. Giving it kind of a linear feel. Today's prompt is zoo, and there are a couple of things I want to share with you. Um, Let me stop what I'm doing here and show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, easier said than done. Stop, Pig, stop. Stop, show us what you're talking about. Okay. When I think of zoos, I've had all kinds of experiences from being a young child and seeing the creatures in these little bitty cages, which did not make my heart happy, to going to San Diego and seeing the savannah where the animals that are in captivity are there for their protection and are being cared for just as if they were living out on the savannah in Africa or Asia or wherever. Let me show you some pictures. When you go, a little bit of glare there. When you go to San Diego to this wildlife safari, let me pull this out. It's in a big 12 by 12 journal. And I have multiple pictures from that zoo visit. You can see, maybe you can see, this is massive. This is the water flowing through. There's a balloon floating out there over the area, because they do balloon trips too, I believe. And here we're feeding the giraffe, but when you take this type of trip, you board a Land Rover just like you would if you were in Africa. And you can see I'm leaning over the railing here, and I have goodies in my hand that I'm feeding the rhinoceros, and they come right up to the truck. They're very happy. You can see the background looks very much like it would out in Africa. And here's a whole group of them that have come in to get some goodies. And they do. They reach right up, and you can drop the food right in their mouth. And it's quite an experience because who gets a chance to be this close? I can pet this rhinoceros. And how cool is that? Look at the tusk on that big guy. I mean, tell me he isn't cared for and happy. You can see he's been sloshing around in the mud. He's got mud on his feet, and so have his friends here. So, this is the type of environment I like to see when we talk about zoos. Not all zoos are like that, but I think in this day and age, the zoos are doing a much better job of providing that type of care for animals. Like here in Cedar Rapids, we have a raptor center. And what that is a place where injured birds of prey go, and they take them in and they mend them if they can and release them back to the wild. And if they can't, then these creatures take up permanent residence in the Raptor Center. And they have flight cages where they can retrain them to fly. It's just a whole different world we're living in for these animals. And I'm so proud of our community college here that has taken on that challenge to provide that kind of care for animals. We also have all kinds of places where creatures can go and be taken care of. And I like that. I like that we are taking care of all of God's creatures. So what I've done is I've just created, this was a page, a cleanup page that had a bunch of, I don't know, cleaning off the stencil kind of stuff on the page already. And I am creating a background here using that and some washi tape. I'm not being terribly particular. I'm just getting something down on the page. And then I'm going to want to add some color. And I'm trying to think about what I want here. I think I'm going to start with Orange Blossom. Let's see what that looks like. I have a dirty sponge, so it's a little bit darker, which is just fine with me. It has some black and some gray and some green, and yeah, just a mixture of stuff because it's just got ink on there. And you know what happens when it all blends together? It turns into something kind of muddy, which is okay. Just kind of making a base here. Okay, and I think I'd like to unify that a little bit more. It's pretty bright. I might just be able to do that with ink. And I like this. It kind of reminds me of the zoo papers. You know, they have the pattern of the animals. Different, you know, like how a giraffe will have different patterns depending on where the giraffe is from and what his parentage is. And you know, the lions are a little bit different, the elephants are a little bit different depending on where they come from. So I'm just getting that overall patterning into my background here. This is going to be a quick page today. I'm only giving it the 15-minute workout because I have things to do. I'm going to grab a little potting soil now, which is a little bit darker. Give it kind of that sandy soil. And then I'm going to grab a little coffee, which is just a little bit more on the red side. Okay, and then I think I want to use a stamp that's got some texture. So I'm just going to pick up some of that. And actually, I think I will. Here's a little red vermilion. And a little bit of pumpkin bread from Fun Stamper Journey. Okay, good enough. So I have a background. Whoops. Get this ink out of my way. Put the lids on so they don't dry out. And then I have some pieces that I'm going to glue down. And what am I going to use for that? I want something that is fairly heavy. I'll be right back. Oops, jumping ahead again. Before I glue these things down, I'm going to come in with a big brush pit pen and do the edges of my tags. And because this background is so busy, that's what I'm using, is a tag on here to pop it up off the page. And neutralize some of that busyness just by the focal image being less busy. Or at least I think it's a little less busy. So this is kind of the way I'm feeling about my place today. You'll notice I have this desk image, and on the desk are all the things that I typically would have on my desk. All my pencils and paintbrushes and scissors, my cup of tea, and you see it says Bits and Pieces. Well, that's where you find me on Facebook. I have a page called Bits, the letter N and Pieces, Bits and Pieces. So if you want to follow me there, please do. I post over there. I post on Instagram under Peg Robinson. I also have a blog, and those things are all listed down in the description. If you haven't found them already, please come join me. I have a presence on Google Plus. I have, so I'm a lot of places that you can find me. But the main place I'd like you to find me is here on YouTube. And to like and comment and share with your friends, because that lets YouTube know that the content that I create is important. And that's how you continue to get this type of content, because there are a lot of other content makers out here. And, they're going to promote the things that are making the most money for them. So I have them outlined now, and I thought this was cute. Didn't really want to do a zoo animal page, but it says, I got this little dog. He's kind of cute, and he's covering his face up, and it says, "No lion. This place is a zoo," because that's usually the way my place is. Oh, and I've got a little bit of this twine here. Just thinking about doing that on my tag. Little rustic twine packing things, like when I'm shipping stuff out. We get a little rustic with that, right? So I'm going to use this tacky glue to put things down with, because it has good adhesion. And we'll keep those things on my page. It's not an expensive glue, but it's a good glue. I've used Aleene's for a lot of years. They've been out there for many years. I think I might even put that on. Yeah, I'm thinking I might even put that on there. Get the rest of these things down. And that's about it for today. Be sure and watch Shell and Andrea, and I don't know if Sherry's doing a video today or not, but be sure and check her out on Instagram. Lizzie will be on Instagram. I know Mark and Mona and the other people that are posting are over there on Instagram, so check them out. They're a lot of fun pages. And I'm going to put this down and take some final shots, and that'll be it for today. Like I said, this is going to be a quick one. And I need my date stamp, because today is, let's see if I got the right date, November 29th of November Daily Art Journal. Thanks for stopping by.